Hello and welcome back. We are only a few days into a new year and we already have a few brand new 2025 releases, which is quite crazy. So it looks like this year will be packed with new models and designs, even possibly more than last year. So much for an industry that is allegedly in decline. Okay, some of the watches and colorways on my list here were released at the very end of the last year. However, I still included them in this list to make sure that we don't miss anything. Of course, the links to all the watches will be in the description, and as usual, for full disclosure, those are affiliate links which, without costing you anything extra, help me to run this channel and bring you as much of a useful content as I possibly can, so your support is greatly appreciated. Right, so first watch on today's list is this XONATE skeleton watch, 41mm. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the brand correctly, XONATE or XONATE. And from what I see, it is kind of skeleton done right, if you like. With skeleton watches, as I pointed out in my recent review of a Spinnaker skeleton diver, the biggest challenge seems to be to ensure a decent legibility, which, at least judging by the product pictures, is done right here. This is the first time I see this brand. However, it is marketed by the AliExpress shop that is also behind the brands like XONATE and another brand that is also included in this list. We'll get to it a bit later. I've personally handled 3 models from this shop and all 3 were very impressive. Now, back to this skeleton. I also like that there is some sense of order and symmetry in the skeleton ornament, and not just some kind of collection of cuts and holes in the movement where possible. And of course, it is hard to dismiss some PRX vibes here in the overall design, so if you like PRX design and you like skeleton watches, well, this one definitely ticks a lot of boxes. Now, in my recent post about this watch, I actually pointed out that it looks familiar. What I meant by that it does look somewhat like San Martin or Addiesdive or any other brand in the last year that did follow the Grand Seiko elaborate dial designs. Obviously, Seagull also doesn't want to miss out on this trend, and I guess we get this. It is a Seagull, so I would expect high attention to detail and top quality, and we even get an in-house Seagull movement, ST17, not the most premium movement, but a robust workhorse used in very many watches, and not just by Seagull. And in this particular case, it definitely helps to keep the price at bay. And talking of jumping on trend bandwagon, well, Kronos recently released this homage. It is priced well and it looks quite decent. However, I'm not entirely sure why I would choose this model over San Martin's similar releases, which for extra few bucks also have on-the-fly adjustment clasp and, in general, more interesting and original gemstone dials. Kronos seems to be playing a bit of a catch-up game in the last year or so, so let's hope to see something a bit more original and brave from this brand this year. And talking about original and brave, well, WM Watches recently released this. Seiko NH34 movement on the inside, very recognizable design on the outside and very sharply priced too. WM Watches released a bunch of very interesting timepieces recently, and yes, they do homages, but they also do some really interesting original designs too. I really appreciate how seriously they take the feedback from the watch community, and I think it helped them to get themselves on the map, so to speak, in a very short period. So this next watch, well, I know it is not a new one, however, I'm pretty sure that this grey colorway is a very recent addition, and I think it looks really cool. It doesn't transform this clearly dive watch into some kind of GADA timepiece, however, it does give it a more subtle look, so it becomes more wearable in more casual situations. And this watch also a very recent watch, but not recent enough to be on this list. However, the reason I still included it in this list because I still see comments on my review of this really good looking San Martin of type of, oh, only if this case was 36mm, or if this case was 42mm, then I would definitely buy it. Well, the good news is that now it comes in 36, 39 and 42mm. So everybody can win. But wait, that's not all. We have another variation of this very popular San Martin, and I'm talking about these new two colorways with grey dial. San Martin official store released a teaser on their page and on their Instagram account. I think it looks really good, and this will really make it an ultimate GADA watch when it gets released. Now, this one is definitely a brand new release from San Martin, a compressor-style dive watch with rotating inner bezel. It is great to see that San Martin continues to experiment with dial textures and colors, interesting case design, and we have YN55 movement in the back of this watch, which is an automatic mechanical movement made by Orient. And taking a quick break from San Martin watches, we have here a brand new release from Seagull, which to me looks like just another colorway of their TV dial watch. So if this greedy snake computer game background, or was it an old school phone game, so if this game is enough to entice you, well, not the game exactly, I mean the picture of the game, if this is enough to entice you to pay around $500, well, you have that option. Now, this next watch is from Sugess, and I think it is really interesting. So, Sugess decided to use Seagull ST1907 chronograph mechanical movement here, and what sets this movement apart from the other variations of this ST19 caliber is the presence of the power reserve indicator. So, first, it is a very useful complication to start with, however, I would also say that it is even more useful on this particular movement, which always keeps you guessing about how much more it needs to be wind up to a full charge. So this indicator now removes the guesswork out of this process, and as such also offers an additional protection of the movement from overwinding. But the movement is only half of the story here. We of course have this really well executed homage to a very popular chronograph, and it is offered in a bunch of different really cool colors. Right, so this is another San Martin, or should I say another variation of their recent release, also powered by Miyota Premium 9000 series movement. Very interesting looking enamel dial, expanding on the popular Chinese porcelain craft inspired designs of the first SN0144 variant with the blue dial. So we've got this Aqua Trident, which is a very interesting new watch and a very interesting new brand as far as I can see. At least I haven't heard of this brand before. This is another watch from the same store that offers Zizam watches, which I had a really good experience with. This diver is actually very well executed. Okay, a spoiler alert, I already had some hands-on experience with it, and yeah, it is good. I will try to get a full review posted shortly, so don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss it. We have 200 meters of water resistance here, sapphire crystal, and it is powered by an H35 movement. And we even have a small party trick, a loomed drawing on the rotor. So here you have it, from what I see a really solid start to this year, and if you want to see my roundup of the last year, check out the video on the screen or somewhere around here. There were some winners there that even surprised me. Thank you for watching, don't forget to like and of course subscribe, take care, and I will see you in the next video.